Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Pokémon Ruby Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we explored the abandoned ship on Route 108, where we managed to find the rather powerful Ice Beam TM. We then progressed forward to Slateport City and up to Route 110, where we did our first visit of the Trick House. I'll probably be coming back to do more of those at a later point, probably closer to, Gym 7, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, we completed that. Then we headed up to Mauville City to see an old friend in the form of Watson, who asked us for a bit of help to save the city of Mauville from an underground generator in New Mauville, which, honestly, I'm not really sure why he asked us. I mean, he's the gym leader. I'm sure he could have handled it, but it worked out for us because we got a new electric type in Dane the Magnemite. Anyway, we turned off the city's generator and ended up getting the TM for Thunderbolt, which will also be rather useful. Thank you, Watson. This time, we will be progressing forward through Route 118 and onward. So, as you can clearly see, I've changed around my team. I've added Stussy, the Barboach, who we caught back in episode 14. Yeah, 14. We caught Stussy in 14, and she's actually pretty good. She actually has the second highest IV total of my Pokemon, with a total of 140, with, I believe, her lowest IV being special defense of 12. Really, it's alright, but what's really good is that quiet nature. Minus speed plus special attack, definitely going to be useful. I currently have her equipped with an Everstone because I want to delay her evolution. She evolves at level 30, and I want to evolve her at level 31. Taught her the Ice Beam TM that we picked up at the abandoned ship, gave her Surf, and her other moves are just natural. Going to be a very good addition, I think. We also have Dane here, the Magnemite. Bold nature, so plus defense minus attack. That's actually fairly decent on him. If you can't get plus special attack or plus speed on a Magnemite to either boost its already high stat or shore up one of its weaknesses, this is probably the best thing that you can do for it. Currently holding the experience share. He'll also evolve at level 30, so one battle ought to do it. Taught him, well, didn't really teach him anything, just trained him up naturally. So, yeah, we should be pretty solid there, or for what we've got going forward, but first things first, I want to actually fish up here on Route 118, because now that we have the Good Rod, we can get one Pokemon, and there's only one Pokemon available in the tall grass on this route so that I can get, and we're guaranteed to run into it later, so I don't want to waste time trying to get it here, so especially seeing as that Pokemon is 1% encounter on this route, so definitely something I want to avoid running into here. And now we've got to go through all this fishing nonsense because, of course, I can't just run straight into the Pokemon that I want. And actually, let's quickly swap Dane to the front for this, just because I want to be able to paralyze whatever I catch as soon as we run into it. Okay, let's try here. Okay, come on, it's only a 20% chance. Yes! Okay. Well, I know this doesn't look like much, and it's honestly not needed since I have Stussy, but in a Nuzlocke I'll take what I can get, and this is probably one of the better Pokemon that we could have gotten. So let's just use a Great Ball on you. That dive ball that we picked up at the abandoned ship, that will not be very useful until much later when we can actually go underwater. In later games, it would be useful for fishing Pokemon and surfing Pokemon, but not so much here. Anyway, a Carvana. And you know what? Not gonna use much time on this. Alright, Jones. And now that that's taken care of, let's quickly swap Stussy back to the front, because as we can clearly see, we've got Gabby and Ty here. Oh, you're Seipher. Hi. Do you remember us from last time? Can you show us how much stronger you've become? Okay, cue interview. Yep, time for another double battle. And they've gotten a lot stronger since the last time we fought. They've evolved at least one of their Pokemon and are a bit more on par, but I think we'll be fine. We'll just use Magnitude, and we'll Dig to avoid the Loudred, since I imagine it's going to get the attack off. And a weak Magnitude, but hopefully that should be enough to deal with that Magnemite. Thank you, Stussy. Thanks to Darude having Levitate, Magnitude and Earthquake aren't a danger to it, even underground, where if you normally dig and a Pokemon uses Earthquake or Magnitude, the power gets doubled, so keep that in mind. Okay, Stussy leveled up, and Dane also leveled up, so that's good. Okay, wasted time with Supersonic. I think Darude will be able to handle this, so let's just swap Dane in, since he'll be able to resist whatever you throw out at us. Excellent. That was an intense battle. Did you get all that on camera? Well, I should hope so. And thanks to Darude holding the amulet coin, we doubled the amount of money we got from them, so very good. Took a little longer than the first battle we had with them, but oh well. And just like that, Dane has evolved. Challenge. Do you remember that? That's the quote you gave us as the battle clincher last time. I never ever forget stuff like that. The last time we battled, you stopped us before we could brace ourselves. Anyway, what do you think? Do you want to be interviewed again? I'm not gonna bother. Oh. Okay, but don't give up. We'll be keeping an eye out for you. Alright, well that was certainly good. Anyway, let's quickly take off that Everstone that I gave Stussy, because now that she's level 30, we can just quickly use one of these rare candies that I've got to get her to level 31, and that will cause her to learn Earthquake much earlier than if we had just let her evolve at 30, so definitely want to make use of that. While Magnitude can be stronger than Earthquake if it gets a 10, its variability factor makes Earthquake much more reliable. And because we leveled up Stussy, now that she's no longer holding the Everstone, she'll be evolving as well. So 2 evolutions in the first 10 minutes of a video. Alright. And I think I'll leave Dane with his experience share for right now. Anyway, oh. Hi. You're that trainer I met in Dewford. Oh, okay, you're Seipher. I'll remember it. Seipher. In this vast world, there are many kinds of Pokemon. They come in many types. Do you raise different types, or do you raise only Pokemon of a certain type? I generally try to raise a variety of different types. Honestly, feel it's a little boring to go through with just one type since you already know your weaknesses. And honestly, with how complicated the type chart can be for those who didn't grow up with it, trying to keep type effectiveness consistent in your head is a little difficult, though not so much for me. Although I suppose there are hardcore Nuzlocks where you use only a specific type of Pokemon, which can be interesting in their own right. I'm not sure I'm nearly there yet, but maybe one day down the line. What do you think as a trainer? Sorry, it's not my place to ask, is it? Well, anyway, I hope to see you again. Well, that was interesting, I suppose. Let's just continue on our way, and I probably should have used a repel, but oh well. And probably should have also led with a Pokemon that's much faster, because Stussy's not that fast, but with that quiet nature and a base 60 in speed. We're just gonna avoid going fighting anyone, and let's talk to this guy. It's a no-go. Tall grass snares bike tires. There's no way you can cycle here. Yep, you can't cycle in this tall grass, but that's alright. I don't really intend to. So we're just gonna make our way through, and you know what? Let's quickly... Oh, I guess I can't run in the tall grass either. And a bit disappointing for a first encounter, but alright. And we should probably get Stussy out of there, so let's send in Dane. And that was a good call because Poison Powder isn't able to be used on a Steel type. You need to paralyze it for jumping the gun a little, I suppose. And actually, Dane has a pretty decent move for catching Pokemon because Sonic Boom only does a fixed 20 damage. Although that's a bit of an annoyance. But we can easily deal. Let's just use another. We got plenty of Pokeballs, and I don't think that this will be that hard to catch. Excellent. And I think you're pretty much ready to evolve if we so chose. Not that I expect that I'm going to use this Oddish anytime soon since I've got Forest with us. Rocky, there you go. 10 points to anyone who can guess what anime that name came from. I want to go in here. Bunch of Wingull, but what do you have to say? I heard about a cave called the Cave of Origin. People rumor that the spirits of Pokemon are revived there. Did something like that really happen? I'm not so sure about that, but hey, there's all kinds of rumors in this world. A bunch of Wingull. What do you have to say, guy? I thought you fly by catching a whole flock of bird Pokemon and then hanging on to them somehow. But it turns out there's an HM move called Fly. I wish I'd known about that a long time ago. Well, I'm not gonna bother with that. Let's just continue on through this rain. That white path there, if you have the Acrobike, you can get through it, but you can get through that path and go to other areas, but I don't, so we'll just have to deal. And I knew I wanted to stop at this berry tree because Lepa berries are very useful PP restoring items. You don't usually come across that many throughout a playthrough. And citrus berries, these are Much better than orange berries, though not as good as they get in later generations. In this game and before Gen 4, they only restore 30 HP, as opposed to 25% of your maximum HP in later gens. But still useful, but certainly better than using an orange berry at this point. Just gonna avoid these trainers as best we can. Some fights I might not be able to manage. And let's see what we run into here. Well, that would have been a much better encounter for this route. Oh well. I suppose I should say while we're here on Route 119 that if you decide to fish here with either fishing rod, on 6 tiles that are randomly generated throughout a playthrough, per playthrough, you can find a rare Pokemon in the form of Feebas, which, unless you intend to do contest stuff by making Pokeblocks, I would not recommend. But if you are willing to do that and you give it a bunch of dry Pokeblocks to raise its beauty condition, you can then get a rather powerful water type in the form of Milotic, which is basically Hoenn's equivalent to a Gyarados. I mean, I know that Hoenn has Gyarados, but but it's basically a special variant, focusing on special attack and special defense as opposed to physical attack and special defense. Oh yeah, I wanted to go into my bag and go into key items and register my mock bike now that we're not going to be fishing. So let's go on up this way. Can't go through the grass with the bike as I was told, but oh well. I should probably get Stussy out of the lead if we're going to be going through the grass. It's alright. Anyway, oh, it would seem that Team Magma's here. Lookout duty is surprisingly boring. Hey you, please don't go near the Weather Institute. Maybe you should be blocking the entrance to it rather than the bridge? Well, this is the Weather Institute, so let's see what Team Magma doesn't want us to see what they're doing here. Well, they seem to have taken over. While I was sleeping, everyone went upstairs. Alright, well, yeah, I believe if we look at this bed, we can take a rest, so easy free heal for us. There's also a PC, so we could change around our team if we wanted, but I'm not really in the mood to change around my team. Huh? What's a kid doing here? Alright, well, we could avoid some of these magma grunts, but I figure now that we've avoided a good portion of the fights, we can just fight our way through these goons. Huh? I lost? Yeah. I mean, you having a Numel at this point is kind of pathetic. Most of my Pokemon are already evolved. The boss got interested in the research they have going here, so he sent us out. You quit meddling. I'll meddle as much as I please. And it's time to show off why Stussy is so good with the moves that I've set her up with. Tight coverage between Ice Beam, Surf, and Earthquake now will be definitely useful for whatever she's fighting against. And she's got at least some decent bulk and that good water ground typing to make it so that only grass types are really a different detriment to her. And actually, since we're leading with Stussy, let's take off that amulet coin from Darude. And put it on Stussy. Might as well earn a little more money from these grunts. I mean, I get why these guys don't have stronger Pokemon. It doesn't really help the... It really doesn't help the admins and leader actually stand out for actually having evolved Pokemon if all of the grunts have them as well, but surely there's a better means of making the grunts at least a bit tougher. Oh well, not that it really matters to me. I'm just destroying them as I see them. Especially with critical hits like that, Stussy, my god. Our plans being spoiled by a kid? To be fair, you're not exactly all that tough. We're Team Magma. We appear wherever anything rare is found. That sounds more like something Team Rocket would have said back in Kanto or Johto. Alright, well... Stussy, shake him down. Easy peasy. Yeah, Stussy is basically a one-man army for taking out these mooks from Team Magma. Got me, yep, we did. Let's hope your leader, or at least this team's leader is... or rather, this mission's leader is a bit stronger. Ahaha! You're going to meddle in Team Magma's affairs? You're either absolutely fearless or simply ignorant, or both. You're so cute, you're disgusting. I'll put you down, kitty. If you say so. I really don't see you being all that different from all these others. An admin, at least, but only 2 Pokemon. And not even a fully evolved Pokemon at that. Well, you're going down. And a Mightyena, so slightly bad. It did lower our attack, but we can just use Surf to avoid using our lowered attack stat. Yeah, not all that difficult. Dane grew to level 31, that's good. Ah, you're disgustingly strong. Well, thank you for the money. Ah, we got meddled with unexpectedly. We're out of options. We'll have to pull out. But this isn't the last you'll see of Team Magma. We have other plans. Don't you forget it. Thanks. Thanks to you, we're safe. It might be an odd way of thanking you, but take this Pokemon. You don't seem to have any room for this Pokemon. Oh yeah, because we've saved the Weather Institute, if we quickly... well, I guess I don't really need to bother. I'll get it off screen if that's alright with you guys. You know what? I have a little time left. Let's just take somebody out and... we'll just quickly have Stussy sit here for just a little bit. Because we do technically want to do this. Thanks. Thanks to you, we're safe. It might be an odd way of thanking you, but take this Pokemon. Seipher received the cast form. That Pokemon changes shape according to the weather conditions. There's plenty of them in the Institute. Go ahead and take it. And unfortunately, we did not actually get a means to nickname it. Castform is a bit of a unique Pokemon, and unfortunately I'm going to have to leave it unnicknamed for a while because I do not want to have to surf all the way back to Slateport just to nickname this thing, so I will take care of nicknaming it off screen. But it comes holding the Mystic Water, which will basically be a 10% boost to all of your water-type moves, so it's rather useful. And it changes its type based on what weather condition is currently active. Fire type for sun, water type for rain, and ice type for hail, although for some reason no rock type for sandstorm. I don't get it either. But we'll just quickly switch around our team a little. And we'll put Stussy back in the lead. But as that guy earlier in the route had said, there is an HM move called Fly, so once we get that, we can, and have the ability to use it in the overworld, we can go take care of that Castform thing, and might as well do this for the end of before we end things off. Seipher, where were you? I was looking for you. How much stronger have you gotten? Let me check for you. Ready with your Pokemon? Of course you are. Go! Well, it's a good thing I had healed up. Although, Stussy could probably... Well, actually, no, I dropped Stussy off, so her PP is back to... Or her power points are back to normal, so... We should be able to easily take out whatever she sends out against us. Earthquake... Dang, Stussy, you have no chill. Okay, a Shroomish. This could technically be a little dangerous. I mean, I know it's not evolved, but fighting a Shroomish with a water ground type is probably not the best idea, so let's bring in Lombardi. And unfortunately, Leech Seed does not count as a status condition that will activate Guts, but whatever. We can deal with this, I suppose. Let's just use Wing Attack. And Combuskin, still not fully evolved and a bit more dangerous now, but not very. I think Lombardi will be able to take this thing out. Yep, no issue. Thank you, Lombardi. Ach, Seipher, you're strong. I was worried you might be struggling with your training. I don't know why you would think that, considering every time you and I have fought, I've beaten you. And unfortunately, because we didn't lead with Stussy at the end, we didn't double the money from her, but oh well, we did get a good chunk of money from Team Magma. I had absolutely nothing to worry about. Keep it up. And here, I have a present for you. Obtain the HMO2 Fly. Use Fly and your Pokemon will instantly carry you to any town you've already visited. But to use Fly, you have to get the gym badge from Fortree City. That's important, so don't forget. You should fly home and visit Little Root for a change. I bet your mom's worried about you, Seipher. Don't worry so much, May. I already went and visited her after I beat my dad. Well, let's meet again somewhere. And just like that, she's off. And just like that, I feel like we have done quite enough for today's episode, so I'm going to end things off here. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.